All right, welcome to episode 2 of Marks and Smarks. This is Andres.
This is Haley.
It's been a little bit since the first episode. We've just been really busy lately. A lot of stuff's happened in between. But we'll try to hit some of it. Obviously, we had the AEW pay-per-view World's End, which I watched. You watched about half of before you got bored.
I fell asleep.
I'll talk a little bit about that, but it's probably going to be more of a little rant on AEW right now because they got some issues, in my opinion, to say the least. We also went and saw the Von Erich movie. What is it called? Iron Claw?
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about that. I think we both enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then just some basic WWE stuff, what's kind of been happening, and, well, you know, stuff leading into the Royal Rumble. So, start with AEW. So, and feel free to jump in whenever. If you agree, disagree, whatever. So obviously, you got bored during World's End and just kind of left. I thought it was probably the worst AEW pay-per-view that I've seen them do. Again, which definitely not the worst pay-per-view ever. There's definitely been a lot of way worse pay-per-views, but it was just kind of meh. I thought Joe and MJF was good. I thought I enjoyed the Adam Copeland and Christian match, even though I didn't necessarily like the swerve at the end that much. But other than that, I thought it was really all the matches were either not very good to just kind of okay. The Eddie Kingston, John Moxley ending that tournament, at least there was a story behind it. That kind of, the Japanese style, I guess, like all the striking and stuff, not really for me, but I can see why people enjoyed it. But yeah, I didn't really enjoy the pay-per-view that much. It definitely wasn't worth dropping $50 on, in my opinion. And yeah, so, well, here's just as an example of some of this that's going on in AEW right now. Today, so last night they had the whole Jinder confronting Seth thing.
Yeah.
So there was I can't remember the guy's name, but it's like, a wrestling journalist. He was like, there is actually kind of history here because Seth beat Jinder for the first ever NXT title when they had a tournament for it back in like 2013. And then the USA Network, which Raw is on, not WWE, the USA Network Twitter, tweeted responded to it and was like, what was the cage match ratings? And so just for context, Tony Khan just recently brought up in a conference call, I think, about like sort of the business and everything, that he referenced Cage Match, which it's basically a website where users can just get on and rate matches or like pay-per-views. It's all just like users. There's no like journalists or anything. And most things will have maybe like a couple hundred people rating them. But he used this as like an example, to be like, see, we're getting really good ratings on Cage Match for our matches. So that was kind of like a dig at him, done by a network, not even WWE.
Yeah.
And today he got on Twitter and basically just like lost his shit, and was like, I'm just paraphrasing what he said, but basically he was like, your little moral victory is the same amount as Jinder's had in an entire year. He hasn't won in a whole year.
Gosh.
And then he's like, why are people complaining because Hook called out the champion? He's 28-1, and Jinder hasn't won in like forever. Like all this, just like losing his mind, getting mad at USA, some intern that posted this for like the USA Network Twitter.
Sounds alright.
Yeah, and so there's been a few responses since, including Jinder saying, Jinder responded to him and he was like, "Who the fuck is Hook? Watch Raw."
Rude.
Which was pretty funny, but it's just that's the first issue. Tony, I think is the big issue here.
I agree.
He's doing everything himself. He's trying to book the entire show. he's doing all the media stuff. I don't think he has if he has a PR team, they're really bad because they're not making him get off his phone. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And just to start with that, it's like when AEW started, it had sort of this like not outlaw, but it just, kind of had this indie vibe of like, this is like, it's all your indie stars and like the front facing people of the company were Cody and the Elite, right?
Yeah.
And people liked them a lot, and they're like, okay, like we support these guys, and they kind of, found somebody to finance and make their own promotion. This is super cool. And now Tony has made himself the face of the company because he won't shut the fuck up. He responds to random trolls online and freaks out. Yeah, he needs to hire a PR team. He needs to hire bookers. Yeah, it's just rough right now. Just going into everything like we're relying too much now on older guys. Like it used to be, it was all about the young guys, you know what I mean? And the Elite aren't super young, but they were kind of there to help these guys along.
Yeah.
And now, who do you see on TV every week? Jeff Jarrett, Edge, Adam Copeland, Ric Flair and Sting, like all these guys. And then, where is Hook? That's why people are like, where the hell did Hook come from? How often is he on TV?
I don't know, because it got to, like, he was getting some matches, and then it just abruptly stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, the roster's too bloated, so they just don't have enough TV time for everyone. I'm confused as to who, like, the faces and heels are at sometimes.
Yeah.
Another thing, they just did this Adam Cole reveal where now he's, where he was the devil, and now he's got, like, his group. It was, like, Undisputed Kingdom or something. Mm-hmm. I counted it up. I counted at least, there might be more. I haven't been paying as close attention, but I counted at least 7 heel factions that they have right now.
Oh, my God.
There's House of Black, Undisputed. I can't remember. I think they called themselves Undisputed Kingdom. Blackpool Combat Club, as far as I know, are still heel. I think. I don't know. They could be faces. I'm not sure. Dark Order were heels. I think they're still heels. I don't know. Mogul Embassy, which Swerve, I can't tell if they're like the crowd's cheering for him, but he's doing heel stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever Christian's faction's called is a heel faction.
Oh my gosh.
Bullet Club Gold. I'm like, and who were who do we have as a babyface? MJF, who is now out for possibly a year if he gets surgery. Orange Cassidy, who already has another belt, one of the many millions of belts they have, and hasn't been built up as a main eventer at all really recently. Who else? That's why you have to that's why Tony's just throwing a guy like Hook out there, because he's like, oh, you're a face. Cool, it's getting kind of ridiculous.
Hook didn't used to be a face, though. Mm-hmm. When he first started out, nobody liked him, but he wasn't wrestling yet.
Yeah, he was in whatever Taz's little group was called.
What was that called? I can't
remember.
Long ago?
Like the Taz family or something.
Yeah.
It was something like that.
Something stupid.
But yeah, it was like him, Hobbs, and Ricky Starks.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Speaking of another guy, like, where is Ricky Starks? Where is
Where is Ricky Starks?
I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen him in a while. Where are guys like, I feel like I haven't seen Danhausen just got back, and now he's already, like, I barely even see him on TV. And then kind of the last thing here, I feel like I have more stuff, but it's just like I don't want to go on and on forever about this.
Yeah, especially if we have like other stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Man, the women's division is a mess. And if I'm Mercedes Moné or Sasha Banks, unless she just straight up wants all that, like, the money, I don't see what she is going to do in that women's division, or like who's going to I mean, I get they're hurting right now because Britt's taking time off. Jamie Hayter's hurt. They're lucky that Toni Storm's gotten herself over with this, with the timeless gimmick. I actually really like that. I think it's pretty funny. I think it's like one of the best gimmicks they have in the going right now.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, they haven't really established if she's a face or a heel. She's getting cheered. They just threw her in a match with Riho, who's also a face. There wasn't any story to that.
Just a mess.
Yeah, and the women's division specifically, they've had trouble building stories anyway, but the women's division specifically gets one segment or match or show, maybe two. So they don't even have the time to build any stories. Yeah. That's why they're just kind of all getting thrown together. And obviously they need some sort of developmental, I don't know that you can necessarily big enough to have something like the Performance Center, like the old WCW power plant yet, but they need somewhere to develop some of these younger, because they're trying to push right now like Sky Blue, and what's her name from House of Black, Julia Hart.
Yeah. And
they're really green, and they can't really talk yet, and
tell me about it.
Yeah, it's rough, and I get that they want to push them and get some of the younger talent in, but you can't just throw them out there to sink or swim. Like, it doesn't work. That doesn't help them, That doesn't help them get over. But yeah, okay. So that was kind of my rant on AEW. I don't know if you had anything else to add to that. No, not really. Kind of hit all the points. Okay, so let's talk about the movie. Let's talk about Iron Claw.
Okay. You go first.
Okay. I thought it was really good. I kind of, I'd known some of that stuff going in. My dad was a huge fan of the Von Erichs. I mean, he was growing up in San Antonio in like the 60s and 70s. Like, they had that, that wrestling on TV all the time. So, he saw it and really enjoyed it too. But I just didn't. I kind of forgot part of that story and just how cursed that whole family is.
Okay. First of all, when I cried,
Mm-hmm.
I did cry. I'm not gonna lie. I was not warned how it ended.
Yeah.
So cool. I yelled at him at the end of it, and I was just like, oh my god. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's my bit on that factor.
Yeah.
Of them being cursed.
Mm-hmm. It seems like it's getting good reviews. The only criticism I've heard was the one that's still alive. Is it Kevin? He thought that they portrayed the dad they thought they portrayed Fitz a little bit too harshly.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't
he
know.
could have been.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know,
Mm-hmm.
who could have told them how strict he actually was.
Yeah.
Outside of the family, which is dead.
Right. You're looking at maybe he's looking at it through rosier glasses then, but he would know, I guess. So, but other than that, I really haven't heard any sort of much criticism. So it's doing well. I don't. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it yet, I would definitely recommend seeing it. I guess be prepared to cry.
I mean, not everybody's gonna cry. Some people. It was a hard time for me. Okay.
Yeah. So let's move on. Yeah. So the last week or so of WWE. I mean, obviously it's getting towards Royal Rumble and then WrestleMania season, so things are all starting to come to a head. Day one, The Rock came back.
Yes.
Got a promo on Jinder Mahal. I thought Jinder cut a better promo the other night, or last night. He went it was a little too 70s, 80s foreign heel to me. It was you people,
Mm-hmm.
you Americans are all whatever. But just funny because he's Canadian. But yeah, so The Rock hinting at some point having a match with Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts?
I'm pretty excited he's back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's like one of my favorite wrestlers from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like the whole reason he kind of came back to wrestling was because writers were on strike
originally.
And now I think he just kind of wants to fill in a little bit every now and then. But if he's going to take over for Roman, then he's going to be here for a while. Unless he just dips.
My thoughts... I don't think... I mean, I could be wrong, but it just doesn't feel like they would do them at WrestleMania. That match doesn't need the title.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and they could. And I mean, it'd be cool, but I'd be a little disappointed for Cody. But
you know, Cody's getting screwed left and right since he's gotten here.
Yeah. I mean, if I were them, I would just do the WrestleMania moment with Cody, have him beat Roman at WrestleMania, and then you can book Rock and Reigns for SummerSlam. You know what I mean? It doesn't need the title. I don't think him losing to Cody is going to like instantly like make him like not a credible threat. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's held the title for. He's like had the longest. Geez, I cannot talk right now. He's had the longest modern like title reign.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I don't think that needs the title, and I really hope it doesn't have the title. You know what I mean? That would be a very Vince thing to like when he did Goldberg and Lesnar at, what was it, 2017, that WrestleMania? And he had, of course, they had to like take the title off KO and put it on Goldberg, even though that match didn't need the title.
Mm-hmm.
And if KO Jericho for the title would have done so much more for KO than it would have for, but we'll see. I could be totally wrong. They could have Roman and Rock for the title at WrestleMania. Who knows? What else? Trying to think of like if anything. I'm excited for the 4-way at the Rumble with Reigns, LA Knight, Randy, and AJ. I have the feeling that AJ's going to eat the pin in that match, but we'll see. But it'll be a fun match for sure. And then, I'm trying to think of, were there any like things that stood out to you from like the past few shows or anything?
I have to admit that sometimes I tend to read during the matches that I don't really care about. I just
just even like promos like the CM Punk and
I was reading that whole promo. I don't care. I thought it was annoying.
So the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre promo from last night I thought was really good. That's how you do a shoot type promo without like pissing somebody off, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't like CM Punk, so.
I know. But I thought that was really good. I guess they're having Seth versus Jinder for the title at Raw next week, and Tony just gave them a bunch of free publicity for it, so there you go. It's there's been a lot going on. But we're on the road to my favorite pay-per-view of the year, the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have to play the Royal Rumble drinking game again. So last year you didn't make it past the Women's Rumble.
Yeah, that said something to you.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we were supposed to. So the way it worked, it was supposed to be you pick one wrestler, and then you take a shot like every time they do certain things, and then once they get knocked out, you take a shot. But we were like, Our wrestler got knocked out. Let's pick another one, and then we'll keep going with that.
we kind of screwed ourselves.
Yeah. So it didn't end up very well, but
I felt like every time I picked somebody, they got knocked out. It's exactly after I did that.
Yeah.
So
no, literally that first match, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. That was already pretty.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll record ourselves doing it and throw it on here.
Oh my god, I don't know if that's a good idea. You're just gonna hear like mostly Andreas laughing or going, "Oh!" and I'm just gonna be passed out on the couch.
Or yelling really loud when something that pisses you off.
What is that?
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, really?
Oh.
Oh, our cat has stuff to say. I don't know if you could hear that. All right, well, I don't think I have anything else.
No.
Yeah, so that was the second episode. Again, if you liked it, leave us a like, comment. If you didn't like it, leave us a...
Or maybe don't. I have feelings.
Well, you could constructive criticism. But yeah, we'll be back. What the hell is even today? The 10th? We might give it a couple weeks. Maybe we can redo one after the room. We'll see how we feel. If we'll see how crazy things are for the next couple weeks, and so we have stuff to talk about, you know. But yeah, that's it. We're signing off. So appreciate it. If you like this, give us a like and a follow.